Hi, hello, how are you? I hope you're having a wonderful day. If you are new here, my name is Maddie and I'm a multi genre author. And if you are not new here, then thank you so much for coming back. It means the world to me. This is not a event vlog from the event that I just did last week, the reunion book fair. I didn't film very much because honestly, I just feel awkward filming in public because I don't want people to feel uncomfortable or anything. But I know if I want to vlog, I just kind of have to get over that. But yeah, I filmed a little bit of that and I'll just share what I have. But I had a lot of fun. I'm very grateful that I did it. It was my first event and I had no idea what to expect, but I had a blast. I talked to a lot of authors and readers. And yeah, it was just a really good time and I sold some books. So, I did what I set out to do. But I really enjoyed it and I want to do more events because yeah, it was a lot of fun. So, yeah, I did that and now it is just pedal to the metal. I want to get this book done or ready for alpha readers so I can then get working on TCF number 2. But now I am getting ready. I have one more event in October and then I don't have anything until January. But I really want to spend the rest of this year getting Project ACOS to a point where I can go to alpha readers in January and getting TCF number 2 outlined chapter by chapter. So I can just knock that out while ACOS is with alpha readers. And I really just want to get into this cycle of always having an active project because there are so many ideas that I have in my head. And then going to the event and just seeing all of the books and just seeing everything, it just made me really excited to have more than one book. And I also recently I watched for the first time Interview with the Vampire, the AMC show, because I have not seen the movie, and I've not read the book. And I fear the vampire hyperfixation coming back. So I kind of want to revamp the Kindle Vella I started writing, but I don't really like serialized format, so I kind of want to just turn it into a book. And yeah, just revamp that and work with it. Because yeah, I really loved Interview with the Vampire. I thought it was campy, but in a way that it still took the audience seriously. And there was still a very strong thematic through line of the morality of vampirism and how it's a reflection of society. So I really liked that. Yeah, I really just want to have more books and be writing all the time is my goal. We're just going to do a day in my life. It is a Sunday, so I don't have work. So we're just going to be working on writing. I'm going to go get a coffee, read a little bit, and take a little walk just to enjoy. It's finally starting to feel like fall. I live in Colorado, and it has been so hot all throughout September and pretty much up until now, which is just so great. Not really, but it's finally starting to feel like fall, and I'm very excited for that. But I'm currently reading Jade City by Fonda Lee, and I'm really loving it. I love the magic system and the use of jade as the conduit for advanced abilities and the two rival families, and we're really focusing on one of the families, but you can kind of see the cracks within the structure and the scheming against them. So I'm about a quarter of the way in. I don't know if you can see. So I'm not terribly far in. So I'm still kind of waiting for the other shoe to drop and things really just to go poorly. But I love the intrigue of it all and just seeing how they interact and yeah, how important jade is. And yeah, so I'm really enjoying it. I really like the writing. There are a lot of POV characters and it's not labeled. So sometimes I'm trying to figure out whose head I'm in, and switching is a little difficult, but I think it's just because I'm still relatively in the beginning and learning everyone. But yeah, I'm very much enjoying this so far, and I really like to read before I get into writing. I saw someone else on YouTube, I forget which author tuber it was, but she said she likes to read before writing just because it like gets her into the zone, and so I've started doing that and I really enjoy it. Um yes, that is my current read, and I'm very proud of myself. I wrote about like 15 to 20,000 words, Project ACOS, and then I did a chapter by chapter outline. And I kind of think that that's going to be my flow from now on, is doing about like 20,000 words of a discovery draft. And then I kind of have a feel for the characters. So I can do a chapter by chapter outline. And then now that I have an idea of where the story needs to go, and just go from there. I think that really helped. And now I know exactly what I need to write. I do need to change some of the chapters from the secondary because I'm doing a dual POV, which is my first time doing it. So I did need to change some of those chapters just to fit the flow of the story a little bit better from where the discovery draft was. And that's why I kind of liked not doing a full discovery draft, because I would have had to have rewritten a lot of it. But with that now, I don't have to rewrite so much and I know where I'm going. So yeah, I think that's going to be my go-to now, because I cannot do just an outline without knowing the characters and just knowing how they would act in certain situations. So I liked having that, but then also taking the time to plot it out once I know who the characters are. So I'm not just writing aimlessly. And I think it'll save me time in the grand scheme of things. I'm not going to be doing like the official NaNoWriMo because of everything that the NaNoWriMo organization has going for them right now. But I do want to get this draft finished by the end of November, so I can just kind of tweak some things. There are like some names that I don't have for places and people that I would like to have figured out by the time it goes out to alpha readers. And I do want to have then the rest of the year to focus on TCF number 2. I think that's my plans for today. That's my goal in life. That's where I'm at. Yeah. Okay. Let's just get started. I kind of also wanted to go to the bookstore today. We'll see. We'll see where the day takes us. It is 1 o'clock, so I've been writing for about 45 minutes to an hour, and I can definitely tell that I'm a lot more confident in the protagonist's POV chapters than I am in the other character's POV, but that's okay because like this doesn't have to be perfect, and I can edit it, which is the most important thing about writing is the editing. And you can quote me on that. I truly do believe that the magic happens when you kind of have something to work with. And yeah, overall, I think I'm feeling really good about the story and where it's headed. I think this is probably my most like to market story that I'll be writing, this duology, because everything else in Monogin is just going to be weirder, darker, or bleaker, I think. Even like with TCF, I know that it's not necessarily like the most to market book. This I think is more so. But yeah, I'm just really excited for getting books out there. And I think, yeah, I'm just like really thankful to that event because I do think it really helped me just see like, you can do this and you can make it happen. And people will read your book. Like there are readers out there. So I really enjoyed that. I've also been working really hard to change how I interact with social media, and I can tell that that has had an impact on like my mental health and creativity as well. I think there's this like trend, mostly on Instagram or Threads, of just, I saw someone refer to it as engagement whoring, and it's so accurate. Like I'm just seeing people just like push content that just means nothing, and it just like is junk, right? Like it's just there to try and beg people to engage with the post, or almost just like begging for followers or something when this person has no intentions of like building community, or I don't know. Like it's just, I don't want to just put anything onto the internet, especially like with Instagram. Yeah, it's just almost not being like an enjoyable place to be right now. So I've actually limited my internet use, or well, TikTok and Instagram and Threads, to 2 hours a day, like total for all three of them. And I can definitely tell a difference in like how motivated I am to write and read and like do things that fill my creative well, or like make me feel fulfilled and satisfied in life, when I am sticking to that time frame and just being really intentional about finding the accounts that I want to interact with, because so many people do put really good content onto social media. So I don't want this to be like, I hate social media, because I don't. I really love it. But yeah, I'm just like choosing to interact with people who I really want to, making sure I'm seeing their posts. And then when I am kind of getting into that doom scrolling habit of just like hitting the, 50 more minutes on my timer. But yeah, I've been spending a lot of time thinking about what I want my like legacy to be, or what I want people to think of when they think of me. And I really, really want to focus on writing and helping other authors write accessible yet substantive stories, because there's been so much coming out about, oh, people don't have media literacy, like kids can't read, like things are going downhill. And I do think that that is a valid fear. However, I got into like one-sided beef with an author on Threads who's very well known. So I'm not like, but she was just like, oh my gosh, like no one has empathy or media literacy anymore. And I tried to read one of her books, and it was the least compelling, like all telling, no showing book ever. And so I was just kind of like, I don't, like, oh, because she said it, she didn't think it's gonna get better. So I was just like, I don't think that's true. Like, I don't think anything is ever over until we're all gone. Like, nihilism is manufactured to make you inactive, right? So we have to keep working. And I said, I think it's our job as authors to write stories that encourage media literacy and things like that. And she's like, well, people just don't engage with those stories. And I'm just like, I try it, like, you're not writing those stories, so how do you know? But that really got me thinking of like, I hate this trend sometimes that I see where people conflate enjoyability with fluff, like no substance or theme. And I kind of really truly believe that this trend of books that are all fluff, no substance is going to be like a hallmark of 2015 to 2025 literature, because I think people do want something a little bit more real, or have that little bit of authenticity. And I don't think like there's never a time or place for really fluffy reading, but I do think it's like, if that's all you're engaging with, you aren't exercising those media literacy muscles, because it is a muscle and a skill. Just like if you are lifting weights, you can have a spotter, or you can take a rest day, but if you aren't doing any of the lifting, you're not going to get stronger. And that's what, reading is. It helps you think about things in multiple different ways, from multiple different perspectives, why you think the way you think. So I really do believe in like the power of story and what it can do for culture and, like improvement as a whole. And so that's what I'm really passionate about, is having that accessibility while also still having that theme and something to say about the world we live in. So I do think even like the simplest, latest rom-com can still have a theme and can still have like an emotional heart to it, and it can still be well written while being really enjoyable. And I'm just I don't like that people have like, if it's has something to say, then it must be like boring. And I want to, like if people I want to help people not think that way anymore. Like, I can't change the world, but if I can help someone improve their media literacy and still enjoy reading and have such a love for story, then that's good enough for me. And I'm critiquing for someone who, this is my second time reading for them, and I felt good because they were like, you should just be a full-on developmental editor. And I would love to like do something like that. Like, I don't know at this point what that would look like. But I do have such a passion for like just encouraging other authors to improve and write our best stories. Because I think story can change the world. And it like developed as a survival tactic. So it's essential to like who we are as humans. But yeah, so that's just something that I've been really considering, is how I am on social media, how I'm engaging with it, and what I want people to take away when they spend time on my page or like any of my platforms. Like, I don't want it to just be this like content farm. I want to put out stuff that like I'm proud of or I'm okay with, and things like that. I don't know if that makes sense, but it just really coming like, nothing is over and we're not cooked or anything until there's no more of us around. But it is like, I don't want generations after me to be doom scrolling, but I can't stop that until I stop doom scrolling. That's just kind of that's where I'm at with like my life philosophy and figuring out who I want to be and how I want to leave a mark on the world, even if it's small or, even if it's whatever, it's still important. And that's something that I am like really passionate about and am proud of, to have like my name attached to it. So yeah, I don't know. That's just what I've been thinking about this past week. But I am really hungry, so let's take a break from writing right now and get out of the house a little bit. I've been spending so much time at home, and I think that's also been rough for me this week, because I work from home and I love being at home, but just kind of like never leaving definitely does make me feel like a recluse or something, and I'm just like, I gotta get out. So let's walk around. I think a trip to the bookstore would be good. Maybe let's go to the next thing. Hello, it's Monday, so not the same day. I didn't film anything more yesterday, but basically I got lunch. I watched a little bit of TV, and then I just spent the rest of the day writing and watching TikToks, just like flip-flopping. But it is almost 7 o'clock. I got done with work, ate a little bit of food, and did some chores. So now I'm going to get some writing. But I think I'm going to sit in bed and write. So we're going to go knock some words out. And yeah, that's my plans for the rest of the day. So super exciting, but let's go. It's Wednesday afternoon, and I just finished working for the day. I saw Joker 2 last night, and I actually thought it was really well done. I don't know why people have such a visceral hate for it. I felt like there was a lot to say about like the perception of power and, power dynamics in like an individual and then larger societal way, that I thought was really interesting. And I don't know if it was intentional or not, but I also felt like it had a very strong theme of the like maybe not helplessness, but just the futility of organization without community. And yeah, I really don't know how else people would have wanted it to go because he did go to prison at the end of the first movie. So yeah, I didn't think it was bad at all. Anyways, I got back around 8:30 and then I just was reading Jade City, and that's what I did this morning before work. That's what I did while I was eating lunch. That book is so good and I'm enjoying it so much, and uh it's just a really good time. And yeah, it's just so good. I love the characters, even though they're not the best people, but I'm just so rooting for them. And I cannot wait to pick up the next 2 books. So highly recommend Jade City if you have not read that and you are into like urban fantasy. I don't know. I'm just kind of feeling in a weird space with my own creative side of things, mostly like social media. I don't know. I am really proud of my book, and it's the book that I wanted to write, but it's also maybe, I wonder if it wasn't the smartest idea to go like all in on a very uh like villain protagonist. And so I'm second guessing like that a little bit, and maybe it would have been better to write that when I was like more established, because now I don't know, I don't know, doubts. I'm also thinking about taking a social media break and just doing YouTube from like November and December, just to have a 2-month break. I don't know. I think I've just been comparing myself too much. And again, like I know that I wrote a much harder of a sell than some of the other books like in my head or other books that are being published. And so like logically I know that, but then, it's just like sometimes it's hard to not compare yourself to other people who are doing the same thing. And my online experience is pretty much exclusively other people who are doing the same thing. I'm just really in a bubble right now, and I don't think it's helping my mental health right now. But I kind of just want to work on the next book, and I want to have this book so that I can publish it next year, and ideally 2 books next year for TCF sequel. But yeah, I want to spend the rest of today writing. I am going to read a little bit, but I want to get some writing in because yeah, I just really want to get out another book that's like, hey, I can write likable characters. Maybe they're supposed to be likable and they're not getting worse, they're getting better. Yeah, I don't know. Life is hard sometimes, but that's just the way it goes, and all you can do is keep going. Yeah, so I'm gonna change into something else maybe and get my computer and then maybe go to a coffee shop so I can get out of the house because I guess I left yesterday. But other than that, I've pretty much just been inside, and maybe some fresh air will help get those creative juices going and get this draft knocked out by the end of the year. I am done writing at the coffee shop. I think it was pretty good. This is reworked stuff from the first version because I'm still kind of within that like 20,000 words I had written. And it just feels a little awkward right now. And I know that's just because I just have to get it written so I can edit it. I think like drafting from scratch is just
my least favorite part. I so much prefer to have something to work from and to like improve upon. So it's just like in its awkward stages right now, but I like where it's going, and I think that this is going to make for a much stronger story than where it was before. Yeah, so I think this is where I'm going to end the vlog so I can get all of the footage compiled and get it edited and posted so I can have a video up on my channel. And then I'm just going to start vlogging because this Sunday is Read Between the Stars, which is a sci-fi and fantasy event down in Denver, Colorado. So if you are in or near Denver and are free Sunday from noon to 4, then I would love to see you there. Thank you so much for watching my video. If you enjoyed, I would love it if you would leave a comment, like the video, or subscribe to my channel, but you don't have to do any of those things, of course, and I will see you in the next one.